Good evening, everybody. I'm going to talk about an interesting topic, which is cyber threats on elections, but I'm going to talk about the Israeli test case as elections which are being held unelectronically, meaning that those who vote are coming with a piece of paper showing their ID card. Somebody is asking their names, takes a pen, and thus we have a special ability to protect ourselves from any attack. So my topic is potential cyber threats for disrupting Israel parliamentary elections, risks and responses. In plain words, national parliamentary elections are a democratic process that everybody can, let's say, implement his own wishes and will for the parties that he wants to vote. And this is a very lovely and plausible process, but there are risks. And the risks are in the face of cyber threats. Now, the risks are getting bigger in the 21st century as we are getting more and more electronically, and there are more and more opportunities equivalently to these risks. Those who are perpetrating and attacking the actual cyber attack are hackers that hide behind computers. Their identity is sometimes unknown. And I want to relate to these topics in this study. First of all, we see and consider national elections as significant in implementing the basics of the democratic process, on which the citizen portrays his opinions, votes for a party he wants for it to rule the country. And we can say that there is a potential danger over there of external intervention. This is for all the countries that endure elections. Somebody may intervene and alter the final results. I want to illuminate the potential hazards of disrupting the proper election process and offer some defensive measures. I'm going to relate to defensive measures in general and to the specific Israeli CERT, C-E-R-T, which is the protective administrative branch that offers some solutions to that case. I defined my study in 3 hypotheses. The first one is that the election process in the 21st century is implementing a use of ever-decreasing digital abilities and ingredients, and thus it is more vulnerable. And external elements can intervene and alter the final election results. The final hypothesis is that there is a relevant CERT authority in each country. In the Israeli case, we have one that meets these challenges by using special and calculated means, both technical measures and alerting the public, meaning that the plain and simple ability is to warn the public that this possibility do exist. We have the new technological challenge in the 21st century, which is the flow of data through computers via the internet. And it increases rapidly and quickly. And this era introduced a new potential and hazards for the election process, which is conducted by those who oppose the genuine and actual democratic process. I want to relate to a comparative study from 2019, not a long time ago. The Israeli Parliamentary Information Center held this research, and this center counted 9 countries like Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and some American states that allow online voting, meaning that somebody can vote through the internet electronically. But they limited this process to soldiers or those that cannot arrive physically to the ballot. They also related to a specific case in Brazil that they have an electronic ballot machine. I want to relate to Estonia. Estonia allowed its citizens almost primarily to vote through the internet from 2007. And do see the following statistics. The percentage of those who voted through the internet had risen from 3.4% in 2007 to almost 50%, 43.10% in 2019. This is a marvelous rise. Yet, this process is highly vulnerable. In 2016, the United States had highlighted that there was a cybersecurity threat to the American elections. They noted a hostile state that interfered in the process, and it was made by hacking the Democratic National Convention, by leaking sensitive documents, spreading disinformation, and it was done in order to polarize and divide those who wanted to vote. The highlight was targeted advertisements and paid trolls. I may also relate to bots, which are fake profiles that we can see them by hundreds and thousands and even more, and they look like actual genuine persons that convey their opinion to one party or the other. As I noted, some potential threats evolve from hackers that influence the election votes or technical difficulties by accessing the websites or the voting system. One may relate to a digital division on behalf of those who fear. This is not a cyber attack or something, but there is a digital division of many persons that fear to use the electronic system. They want to stay in the old method of going and putting the paper vote in the ballot. I want to talk about the Israeli case now. It's a very unique case. Now, as you know, on the one hand, Israel is considered as one of the most technologically advanced countries. But on the other hand, we use paper ballots. The citizens can vote only when they get their designated voting invitation as a paper letter through their mail. The process itself is manual, meaning that only from the whole process, the final conclusive results in the form of publication or proclamation by the authorities is made by computer. And I want to describe the whole process. By the way, the source is the State Comptroller of Israel, meaning these are formal publications of the process by the Israeli authorities that relate to the Israeli government. How do the voter actually vote in Israel? The voter has to present the ballot committee, which is a committee of a chairman and a few persons that sit behind the table when it comes to vote. The invitation letter that he received through a mail, he then takes out his ID card, presents it physically to the chairman and the persons, and then the head of the committee takes a pen and marks his name on a printed list. We may see sometimes that some of the committee members ask questions and verify if the person is the genuine person itself or not himself by scrutinizing again the ID number and the picture to see if he is the same person. All of it is done manually. They now give an envelope to the voter who goes behind a closed curtain. He takes the printed note of the party, insert it into the envelope, goes out behind the closed curtain, and the envelope is sealed by some glue, and he puts it inside the ballot. Up till now, no electronic device whatsoever. These ballots are being concentrated from all the offices or the places that people vote. Before these ballots are closed, the committee counts manually all of the envelopes. They close the ballot, They are driven to a central place, and the counting is there being done again. The counting process in the central place is done several times in order to verify that nobody counted these votes in a wrong manner. Up till now, everything is manual. The only electronic proclamation are the calculation of the final results, but following the manual count, which is published through the internet, and that's it. Now, which hazards lurk in this voting process? I want to relate to the actual source itself of the Israeli cert. Throughout 2019, it had inaugurated special campaigns for defending the 21st and 22nd Israeli elections. Now, those of you that are monitoring the Israeli politics, we had in the last 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 campaigns. And we have another campaign now, which is we vote at the beginning of November, 3 weeks from now. And the Israeli cert was in charge of the overall national defense and the preparations for defending the whole process. It implemented some protective measures on computerized systems which the Israeli Central Election Committee, which is the committee that runs the whole process, are using. The CERT also conducted polls of potential risks and evaluations of threats and published formal recommendations. To conclude, the CERT also conducted awareness conventions to CEOs and top personnel in the governmental grid and the business grid, and administrators. First of all, that they will be aware of all of these risks, that their conscience will be that they will understand the whole potential dangers that lurk. And I'm finishing by summarize the conclusions which arise from the hypothesis. First of all, although there is an ever-increasing digitalization process of global elections, there are countries as Israel that still continue to use manual process. And this process prevents vulnerability from external interventions which may alter the final results. And to conclude, the Israeli CERT meets these challenges by implementing special calculated measures technically and by alerting the relevant administrators as in special conventions. Thank you so much.